you were with the president the morning after.
And he made
that
exactly
election.
the same point yesterday. He said he wants health care to happen fast. He also signaled that Democrats are not going to get the big plans that they had hoped for. It's going to be a scaled-down plan, if anything can get through. But the president was pretty defiant about taking on health care in the first place. Take a look.
If we hadn't taken on health care, then what people would be asking right now is, why is it, having promised to do something about that during the campaign, that we're seeing millions of people who've lost their health care and their premiums going up?
But they're saying now they want your health care plan to go away. It's just not popular. Majority are opposed.
Well, here's what I know, is that when they actually find out what's in the proposals for insurance reform, for making sure that we're making health care more affordable, those specific provisions are actually very popular.
You made that speech in August.
Well, and one of the things that I've learned in Washington is you have to repeat yourself a lot because unfortunately it doesn't penetrate. But I am determined to make sure that the issues that are making middle-class families, ordinary Americans, less secure and less stable are fixed.
But is repetition really the problem here? Or is it just that a lot of the American public's just not buying it?
You know, we went back and forth on that a lot during the course interview. The president is not apologetic about the substance of what he took on. He believes it's essential, but he did, over the course we spent nearly a half an hour together, he did admit mistakes in breaking through and communicating, even suggested that he was a little bit too detached from the American people. It was really the most reflective I've ever seen him.
One thing that I regret this year is that we were so busy just getting stuff done and dealing with the immediate crises that were in front of us, that I think we lost some of that sense of speaking directly to the American people about what their core values are and why we have to make sure those institutions are matching up with those values. And that I do think is a mistake of mine. I mean, I think the assumption was, if I just focus on policy, if I just focus on this provision or that law, or are we making a good rational decision here,
people will get it.
That people will get it. And I think that, what they've ended up seeing is this feeling of remoteness and detachment where, there's these technocrats up here, these folks who are making decisions. Maybe some of them are good, maybe some aren't, but do they really get us and what we're going through? And I think that I can do a better job of that.
That is quite an admission, because we all remember how he wanted his BlackBerry. He wanted to really remain connected with the American people and didn't want to go to Washington as others had in the past.
And he became part of the problem. And he also has always gotten this criticism of being a little bit too cool for school. I think he admitted that as well in this, and know that that's something he has to work on. But Robin, he still called this the most fulfilling year of his life. And I think a big part of the reason for that was the fact that he was with his family all year long.
They've been great. That's been a constant that I am stunned by, is how poised, cheerful, well-adjusted the girls have been. They entered into a new school halfway in the year. They haven't missed a beat. They haven't gotten an attitude. They haven't started acting like any different than they were back in Chicago. And Michelle's, I think, been stellar. So, and the fact that I have dinner with him every night, that's been the greatest blessing of the year.
When you think about it, he was a state senator in Springfield, Illinois. They lived in Chicago. Then he was in the Senate in D.C. They lived in Chicago. Then he was on the campaign trail. This is the first time in their lives they've ever all lived together as a family.
That's true. That is true, George. Thanks so much for all that.